Hello everybody and welcome back. And today I was going to make a Come Rain or Come Shine solo tutorial for you. It's going to be my usual go with the flow format. But yeah, this is a really nice solo. This is like one of John Mayer's best solos, in my opinion, one of his best blues solos, tastiest that he's done. Tasteful. And I'll try and play it for you real quick if I can. So I'm going to take it section by section and we'll take a closer look at each section. So we're going to start on the A string. We're going to slide from the 5th to the 7th. I like to use my ring finger. And then we're just going to kind of go up strings, go back and forth between 5 and 7. Except once we make it to the G string on the 5th fret, so we go 7, 5, 7, 5. Then we're going to go to 8. And we're going to slide up into the 9th a couple times, give it that tastiness. And then, after a little breath, we're going to do some quick but fierce plucks on this 5th fret on the B string. And I might even make the second one a little quieter, a little quicker. Because, you know, adds that dynamic flavor. And then we're going to bend up a little tiny bend on the 8th fret of the B string. And we're going to do a classic John Mayer flutter from 5 to 8. And then after we do that flutter, we land on the 7th fret of the G string. And this whole section that I'm playing right here, it's kind of, it flows very specifically. And it'll probably take you a little bit to get down, and that's totally fine. It took me a little bit to get down. All right, and after we land on that 7 on the G, we're gonna pluck the 5 on the B string, and then we're gonna hammer on bend. We're gonna hammer on onto the 8th fret and do almost a whole step bend, and then we're going to catch the note we would bend into on the 5th fret on the E string. And then we're going to stay on the 5th fret, but we're going to jump to the B string here. And then we're going to do a couple slides down from 8 to 7 on the G string, pull off to 5, hammer on, slide down 7 on the D string. And then I like to give it another little pluck before the next part. And then I like to add the high E to that next note, which is 8 on the G string. I like to couple it with the high E. You don't have to if you don't want to. 5th fret high E, by the way. It kind of fizzles out once you get to the next note, but it still adds something to it, I think. And then we're going to do a little finger twister on the G string, which is 5, 7, and then 7 on the D, and then back to 5 on the G, and then a little flutter down. And then this is the part that I had to watch 100,000 times to even get correct at all. All right, and that part slowed down is... which is a lot to unpack. I had to literally watch this so many times, and it was very frustrating because there were certain notes I couldn't see. But pretty much, we just slide from 3 to 5 on the E, give a nice pluck to 3 on the A, And while we're still on the A string, we're gonna slide from 5 to 7. And actually this next part I'm gonna teach in like a 3-note cluster, because if I don't, I think the rhythm of it will get lost in translation unless you play along with the recording. And then that would be. And that's just 5 to 7 on the A string. And then we're gonna give a loud pluck, not too loud, on the D string on 7, because the 3 notes in a row are on the 7th fret. They're just hopping back between A and D. And then kind of a softer pluck. I like to, if you look at my picking hand, that's just how I like to do it. I think it flows better. It helps with speed. And then kind of the same thing on D and G, but we're hammering on. And then this next part, it sounds like one long continuous slide. I'm not really sure how he achieves this without shifting positions inhumanly fast, which I'm sure he can do. But I just like to hit 5 on the G and then very quickly hammer on to 7 and just with my middle finger, and then slide up to the 9th on the G. And then this last little bit is kind of a back and forth, which is 8 on the B string and 10 on the B string. But before we go to 10, we go back to the 9 on the G. After that, we have this pretty BB inspired thing on the 13th fret and the 15th fret. We're gonna give a nice pluck on the B string, 13th fret here. And then we're gonna do a cool little tasty bend on the 15th fret. And then he dips down and kind of comes back up that, but it's subtle, but definitely noticeable. I don't even know if it's that subtle, but. And then he stays up there and then does a quick coming back down. And then he does a couple quick plucks of the 13th fret on the B string again. And then a very quick 14th on the G to 13th on the B. And then this part is also pretty tricky. I'm gonna play it slow. The hardest part about this is the rhythm. So yeah, after that quick, you do a very, very short, very small bend on the 16th fret of the B string. And then you kind of, it's like, there's some leeway with it. And then 2 more quick ones, and you're still bending up slowly, but you don't want to bend too far. And then there's these 2 notes, which is 13 and 15 on the high E. After those 2 notes, you can kind of either choose the 15th or the 16th. I like to do the 16th. So what I'm talking about, another small bend. But you can also go, which that one might actually be more accurate. I'm not entirely sure. It's pretty subjective, honestly. But yeah, once you give another little bend, you're gonna rake into an already bent 15th fret on the B string. And you're gonna go down. And you're gonna pull off to the 13th. And this is all pretty quick. And you're gonna hammer on to the 14th of the G. And then back to the 13th on the B. Which takes us right to the 20th fret on the high E, and we're gonna play it with energy, and we're gonna slide it down. And then we're gonna come back over here, we're gonna do a quick little, just bending it up, resetting it, and then, you know, it's pretty straightforward. And then the last part, I'm going to play it slow again, and then I'll give you the details of the first part of it here. And because I've taught a variation of that Stevie run, you know, quite a few times, I'm probably not going to dissect every note, because that would take me, knowing my ADHD brain, that would take me like 5 minutes to do the whole run, and I don't think anybody wants that. So I'm just, the first part, the lead into this, because it's a little different than the typical stuff, which is nice, but you bend it up almost a whole step, or a whole step, whichever you prefer, whichever you can be more consistent with. And then we're going to reset it again, kind of like how we were doing up here. And we're going to pull off to the, what is that? The 8th fret. And then here we go. I'm going to try and make sure you can see it real well. I'm going to play it real slow a couple times, and then I'm going to try and do it full speed again. And you don't have to do that slide like I do it. You can do... And I also don't even know if this is exactly 100% note for note accurate for that ending, because there's a video of him playing it where he does a little bit different, but I was just learning it by ear mostly, and I was just trying to make it sound as accurate as I could, so that's what I decided to do. I hope that's okay. But yeah, I'm gonna do that again. If you liked this video, if I did a good job, or if you thought I did a good job, subscribe, comment, like, whatever you want to do. You know, nothing is required, but I do appreciate all of it. Especially sharing. If you have a friend that you think would benefit from learning this, or would be interested in learning this, even if you're not sure they're quite there yet, it's good to plant that seed, you know, get those techniques going. But yeah, anything's awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna be making some more of these, and I've got a couple after this that I already have in the works. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.